Hey guys, I know it's been a while and we don't check in anywhere near as often as we should, but I wanted to give you guys a heads up on how this swap is going. Again, this is a V8 swap into a WRX. It's an 03, the bug eye, or an 02, whatever. Anyway, so we got our truck motor here. It's a Vortec 4.8. I do want to go boost at some point, otherwise I would have gotten a different model, but ooh, that could have been bad. Caught myself on a piece of the sheet metal there. Hit me in the leg with the pointy end. Anyway, so a whole lot of stuff we had to figure out here. We had to figure out our drive system. We had to figure out which transmission we wanted to go with. This is a T56 out of a CTS-V. Honestly, as close as everything fits, I do believe that if we got the GTO version, or if you guys are looking to research to do this, got the GTO version, that it would fit right in the stock location. As it is, you can see just the tip of the input shaft here, inside, well, actually a couple inches of it inside of the shift area, and I do believe that around about here, sorry, need to focus on the right ears. Anyway, round about here is the GTO, and then the CTS-V extends quite a bit further. But I ought to be able to mount my own custom, or make my own custom mounts for it, and still be just as well. Using these right here, make our own little 2 bars, and then we'll need a short shifter of some kind. I'm hoping I can find the stock setup from somebody, because those custom setups are like $450 minimum. They're very expensive. Anyway, there's a lot of modifications involved in this, and I know we've talked about it, but now that I've gotten further into this this build, I've fleshed out quite a few more areas where for sure things have to go. So right back in here, if I would have got a custom cross member from someone else that maybe sat a little bit lower, I wouldn't have needed to do all of this, but as it is, I had to cut out a small portion of the transmission tunnel to get this in there. It's not the worst thing in the world. Once I button it up, it probably won't even be all that noticeable, because I'm still keeping the dash in the center console. But there are a few things that I have noticed may be problematic. To get this thing as far back as I want it to sit, this right here, this master cylinder, is going to probably have to be relocated. I heard mention of a compact version, but I mean, honestly, that is super duper small. I highly doubt there's anything shorter than this here, because it's this area right here where it's touching. I still have some space, but mind you, we still have to get the line in there, and you want to leave some room for engine flex and all that kind of crap. So it's probably going to have to go. I probably not going to do anything wild. Maybe just move it up a couple inches. All kinds of fabrication having to go on here. Aggravating as all fuck. Also, in the tunnel, this transmission fits. It fits quite well. I didn't have to cut anything. The sensors work. It didn't have to be removed. The only thing I'm having an issue with as far as getting the transmission up to the angle I want it is this little number right here is touching. The manufacturer recommends, I believe, 3 degrees of lean on this motor set. Right now we're at about 5. So if I notch this little area out right here, it should be good to go. You could probably just bang it out if I wanted to, but I'm tired of beating on shit. It's hot as fuck today. Anyway, moving on. They have some pretty awesome front sets on eBay. This is ICT. I tried their stuff out. Works great for relocating the alternator and the power steering pump in tighter. Their stuff is pretty legit. I mean, it's solid. It's good quality. Works great, and it's cheap. It's not as expensive as all these other setups that you see online. This whole front section was probably about $400. I know that seems kind of steep, but everything's brand new. I mean, brand new pulley, brand new water pump. This came with the no, this was an additional purchase as well. It's a solid locking tensioner instead of like the spring-loaded kind. I hear that there are problems with slippage on the LS motors when you start really putting down some power, so I just did away with that. You lock this thing down once you have the tension you want. The belt breaks in, tighten it down again, be good to go. Let's see what else we got going on here. Yeah, we're running these forward, at least for now. We still got a ways to go before we figure out all this other crap, but the biggest issue we're having right now, aside from getting the tunnel where we want it, so everything fits nice and snug at the right angle, and there's still some room for flex, is this cross member. Now this cross member hits the oil pan in several places, and I have had to do cutting already to the oil pan to try and get it to fit, but the issue is this flare here. Like, the mounts sit right up here. I'm really not sure what this little crop out portion, what the purpose was. I don't know if it's for strength. I don't know what the reasoning is on it, but it's in the way. So we're going to end up notching this. There's also this center fold here, which I'm sure is also for rigidity. I think we're going to cut this out and then put a flat plate in there. And then the steering column, or god damn it, I'm just having a rough day. The rack, if the rack and pinion, bolts right here. And I tried to crush it down to create some space for the oil pan, but because this is all reinforced, it doesn't want to move at all. So we're going to try and do is cut off some of the top layers, you know, and because as you can see, the actual mounts they're pretty far in there, but this stuff is quite sturdy. So we're going to try and cut off some of the top layers. Oops. Some of the top layers to gain some clearance here, and then we'll find some other way of reinforcing it down the road. I mean, we're a long way from driving this thing down the road under high power, but if you have the money, I would definitely consider investing in some of these cross member kits that you see online. They're expensive, but with all the issues I've had with clearancing, either you have the time and the resources and the equipment to do all of this customization for yourself, or you just buy the shit. Anyway, so yeah, I think that's where we are right now. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit us up. Again, this is a T56 from a CTSV. Oh, here's another little area where I had the notch. Just gained a little bit of space in the tunnel as it tightened up towards the top. But aside from that, it all clears great. Just need to do some spacing for this little number here, the shift linkage. Anyway, if you guys have any other questions, just hit us up. And hopefully in a week or so, I've got another update for you guys, and we're further along than we are now. Take it easy.